Hi guys. We're here today with Sahara Rose. She's an IIN grad and she's an author, and we're so excited to have her here.
So excited to be here. I am the author of The Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda and the upcoming cookbook Eat, Feel Fresh. I graduated from IIN in 2013, and it really set my path up for really going after what I wanted to do. Before I did it, I sort of was interested in health and wellness. I was like that person that people would come to whenever they had a problem, but I didn't know that I could really make a career out of it. So I did IIN. Obviously, the chapter or module that affected me the most was Ayurveda. I ended up moving to India. I went to Ayurveda school for 2 years, wrote these books, and I'm really passionate about bridging Ayurveda with modern nutrition, making it really easy for people to follow, as well as plant-based. I also have a podcast called Highest Self Podcast, which brings in more of the primary foods, the spirituality, the lifestyle, relationships, entrepreneurship, that sort of stuff.
Great. Well, you have a lot going on, and we definitely want to get to know you a little bit better.
Yes.
So we're going to go into our Quickfire question series and get to know you. So here we go. What is your favorite veggie?
Just greens. I love all greens. Like, I can't go a day without them.
What book is on your nightstand right now?
Journey to Your Soul. It's about archetypes.
What is your favorite cheat food?
Cheat food would be the vegan peanut butter pie from Real Food Daily in Los Angeles. It's so good. I always joke, like, if I was on death row, like, that's what I would eat, with the whole bowl from Cafe Gratitude and the cookies from Beaming, if you ever go to LA.
Ooh, yeah. Love Cafe Gratitude.
Oh, yeah.
What is one travel must-have?
My Waxoline, I'm obsessed. It's basically like Vaseline, but it's made out of beeswax, so it's all natural. It's not made of petroleum jelly, and it's just so good because my lips are always dry. I'm very Vata, so everything's always dry, and it just really helps me out, and it's natural.
Oh, we'll have to get some of that.
Yes.
What is one food you can't live without?
Avocados. I mean, I feel like that's like everyone's food, but like I really truly mean it. In India, there's no avocados, and I'm like always just so sad because I feel like they just, sometimes you just want vegetables and you don't want like a curry or a protein. The avocado is just the perfect way to make like a bunch of greens like into a meal. So avocados for sure.
What is your current bedtime routine?
Well, I'm all about the nightly routines. I have a whole chapter dedicated to them, but I love Abhyanga, self-oil massage. I love dry brushing. I love journaling. I love just reading different books, tongue scraping. So a mixture of just like wellness practices as well as just reflecting on my day.
And do you have a morning routine that goes along with that?
Yes, morning routine, I do tongue scraping, oil pulling, obviously brushing my teeth. I do like a toner, serum, moisturizer. I found this skincare line that's like this organic one made out of like beeswax also. I guess a lot of beeswax in my stuff, but it's from Hawaii. I think it's called Honey Girl Organics. Been loving that. And yeah, I'm just really into, also starting my day with hot water. That's like a must. I notice such a difference in my digestion on days that I start my day with hot water versus days that I'm like running out of the house and don't have time for it. It really revs up your Agni, your digestive fire, so it makes you able to break down foods more easily, absorb the nutrients. It helps with bloating. If you have gas, constipation, anything, just like starting your day with hot water is just like a game changer. And then you can also add seeds like cumin, coriander, fennel seeds. These three, they're called CCFT, and it's really going to help boost up your digestive fire, make you digest better, and basically live better, because in Ayurveda, it's not you are what you eat, but rather you are what you digest.
Love that. All great information. Who is your favorite visiting teacher?
Deepak Chopra would have to be my favorite because I started reading his books when I was 12 years old, and he wrote the foreword of both of my books, so it's just been amazing to see him working with IIN, which is also where I studied, and he's just been so supportive of me as well, so I love all of his work.
Great. What is your favorite ingredient to cook with?
I love tahini. So tahini is sesame seed paste. It's commonly used in Middle Eastern cuisine. It's actually what's in hummus that gives it its like nutty flavor. So I used to love like peanut butter, and then I realized it was like super toxic. Then I went almond butter. I overdid the almonds. I became allergic to that too. So I was like, oh my God, what? Every single nut I basically became allergic to, except for sesame seeds. So that became my go-to. So now I don't even just cook with it. I'll like use it as like a replacement for nut butters. Anything that you would put nut butter in, let's say it's with an apple or whatever else, I use tahini and I just love it. It's a little bit more bitter and earthier, but it's really good.
We love tahini too.
Yes.
What is your favorite smell?
I love vanilla. I think vanilla is just like the kind of smell you can't get sick of, and it's something natural. If you just have like some vanilla pods and you break them open, it's just such a natural aroma.
Who is the most inspiring person to you besides Deepak?
Besides Deepak, he's just, like, obviously, like when I'm like stressed, I'm like, what would Deepak do in this situation? Besides that, I think my mom is really inspiring to me because she's someone who came to this country without knowing anyone, without having any money, knowing any English, and really made it for herself and obviously gave her life to raising me, so she'd probably be the most inspirational person I know.
Turmeric or matcha latte?
Oh, turmeric for sure. I mean, I like drink it multiple times a day. I make a blend with just turmeric, ginger, black pepper, and ashwagandha. Just mix it together. I have it in a little glass jar, and I bring it with me everywhere I go. It's so easy because you can just ask for hot water at like a coffee shop or anything and add that, and you have like your instant Ayurvedic drink.
Oh, I love that. If you could choose one, would you go with lipstick or mascara?
Mascara. I don't really ever wear lipstick. There are some great brands that are made out of fruit and stuff, but honestly, I just prefer more natural lip.
What is your favorite beauty food?
I love acai. I love like just the flavor of it. It's like it's like not sweet. I don't know. It has like this nice sort of like bitter but sweet taste. I love like acai bowls. I have like the acai powder that I'll add it to things. And it's such a great antioxidant as well.
Juice or smoothie?
I prefer smoothies just because I prefer to keep the fiber in and then it's more filling. Sometimes with juices, it's like I need to pair them with something else. Otherwise, I'll be hungry a while later. Whereas with a smoothie, it's like a meal. And I have smoothies all the time. And I try to make them without anything frozen. So no frozen berries, etc. I do them with all room temperature ingredients because, again, it's better for the digestive fire and will help you just break down the foods more effectively.
So is there any time that cold foods would be good, or is it all about like those warmer
Ayurveda,
foods?
yeah, Ayurveda is all about warm foods. And I used to think, well, what about if it's a hot day or something? Well, in India, it's like a hot day every day. And it's still not the case. But because the reason is if you ever take your temperature, you don't have cold days inside your body. Your body is always, 98 degrees in your mouth and even hotter in your gastrointestinal tract. So when you have something cold, there's so much energy that your body needs to create to warm that food up. And that's energy being taken away from your digestion. So something that's frozen is like, 32 degrees or less. Something that's boiling is like 98 degrees, so let's say 100 degrees. It's a 70-degree difference that your body has to make up for just to get it back to your body temperature, and that's going to take away the energy that you could be using to heal your body.
Right. And what's your favorite IIN concept?
I love bio-individuality, and it was amazing because when I did the IIN webinar and I told Joshua about that, he's like, oh yeah, Ayurveda is actually what inspired me to write about that. So I love it. It's such a perfect word. It really succinctly wraps up how we are all bio-individuals. We all have different cellular biology and need different foods, and that's what Ayurveda is all about. We're comprised of the 3 doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So some of us need more grounding foods, especially Vata. Some need more cooling foods, the Pittas. Some need more stimulating foods, the Kaphas. So I think it's really important for us to get to know more about our bodies, our unique digestive temperament, and that way we can make the right food choices for what we need at this moment, because that's also always changing.
Great. Are you a morning person or night owl?
A night owl for sure. I do most of my writing at night, even though Ayurveda says you have to be asleep by 10 p.m., but that's the one thing I'm still struggling with.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Just do you, and don't care what people think. I think just that permission that we all have to just radically be ourselves, and that we don't need to live up to anyone's expectations, even your parents, anybody's, because it's being untruthful to yourself, and that's actually doing a disservice to them too, because, you know, they are not fully receiving you as your brightest light. So sometimes we dim our lights because we don't want to upset the people around us, but we're not helping them and we're not helping us either. So I think it's so important to just like be you, go for it. And, you know, the people who want to be around you will continue to be around you.
Do you have a go-to workout?
I love Pilates reformer and bar. I love how it's like lengthening and strengthening and very like feminine. I used to like really overdo it with workouts and go to like spinning and boxing and like boot camps. And for my body type, that was not the right kind of exercise. It gave me really bad adrenal fatigue, which I talk about on my podcast, which led to gaining a lot of weight, not being able to sleep at night, really just like off cortisol levels. In order to help heal myself from adrenal fatigue, I had to first stop exercising for a month, then I just did yoga for a few months, and now I'm doing like Pilates, which is like a really good place and gives me enough of a workout without like burning me out.
What is one thing in the kitchen you can't live without?
I think just having a really good like culinary knife. Before I went to culinary school, I like didn't know the difference between knives. I was like, oh, like a knife, you just chop things. And I was like wondering, I was like, how do people buy pineapples and cut them? Like, that sounds like the hardest thing ever. But once I got a good, like actual culinary, like big sharp knife, I'm realizing how easy it is to cut things. Like, I don't need to buy the really expensive pre-cut pineapples from Whole Foods anymore, because I can just cut it myself, and just things just go by so much faster when you have a good knife. So I definitely recommend investing in one if you're interested in cooking.
And to finish it off, what is your most proud moment thus far?
My most proud moment would be publishing my first book, The Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda, and then seeing it become the #1 bestseller, which it still has been for the past year, and just like knowing how much work, you know, I studied Ayurveda for 7 years before it came out, and then having that, like my knowledge really crystallize in a book and seeing how it's affected other people and they're interested in becoming health coaches and beginning their own careers too, that to me is for sure my proudest moment.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we will post a link to purchase Sahara's book if you guys are interested in checking it out.
Thank you so much for having me.